So I'm already overwhelmed. All I can think of is like, this is one of these ideas that Carolyn and I, we've come across in interviewing people that's very sort of unsexy, but so broken and a giant opportunity to improve this. Did you think like this has to be fixed? This is a great opportunity. I'm excited about this because you were working on that import-export company beforehand?
Yeah, so I was a customer of these companies. My brother, I mentioned when I graduated from college, I started working for my brother. So he had a business buying motorcycles in China and selling them on the internet. It was like an early e-commerce company. We built our own web stores. We didn't use Via Web, but like it was before Shopify, probably after Via Web, before Shopify. We were in that window. And so we built our own e-com sites and inventory management systems, and we were shipping motorcycles. So when we would deliver to a customer, it was heavy. A truck would have to come and pick it up and bring it to the customer, even though it was like an e-commerce site. It wasn't FedEx, right? It was like big trucking companies. We were able to integrate outbound from our warehouse to ship. Like we could check rates with a bunch of trucking companies and have a truck show up and take the bike away without us doing anything. Like we wrote the software for that. My brother wrote the software for that. We try to do stuff on the inbound side of like, okay, we're shipping a container. Can we get rates on what that's going to cost us and clear it through customs and collect all the documents? And we were finding like the customs brokers and the freight companies would only work on email and PDF. Like it was just like, wait, what is this? Like you have to call them. And so one was the lack of tech, and two, every time we interacted with them, it seemed like they were ripping us off. They would tell us this is the price, and then it would arrive, and they would be like all these other fees they didn't tell us about. And they're not going to give you the motorcycles until you pay these other fees. And we didn't have a lot of money. We were totally bootstrapped. And so then if you didn't have the money, every day you didn't pay them, there was an additional fee.
Oh my God.
And so we had these like horrifying debt spiral incidents where mom had to bail us out a couple times and give us like a $10,000 loan to save our ass. And like, it was just like, we just like, man, this industry is just like so big, massive, and broken. And the entry point we decided was the customs brokerage, because that's where we kept having these pain points of like getting the goods released at the port, understanding all the fees. And fundamentally, it's a nice high margin business, and it's compliance oriented. So you really need data. You need like we saw this opportunity to build like a really nice data architecture, database driven system to collect all this data, reuse it, collect the documents, have like a repository. So that was like the early product vision. We didn't anticipate, like I said, we got kind of dragged into the freight business.
Yep.
So I had experienced it from the customer experience side. I hadn't worked in the industry, so I didn't really appreciate the nuance of like, I hadn't mapped it out on a whiteboard and said like, oh, there's these 12 companies involved and their IT systems are outdated or don't exist. And like, that problem we discovered like, a couple of years into the business, you're like, oh, this is like a lot more software, a lot more challenge, a lot harder business than I expected. But you don't make money doing easy things. I constantly remind my team of that. Like,
no.